Paul, can I ask you about, first of all, about VAR? One of Scotland's top refs, Ward Collins, said the introduction of VAR would take away scandals within the game in terms of referees getting the decisions wrong. What's your view on VAR, and would it help?
Yeah, it's been shown to help, hasn't it? And it creates different interest, definitely. But there's still, I mean, I'm looking at the one last night, the Spurs one. I'd have given that a free kick. Robbie wouldn't. So, you know what I mean? Well, there's still, if it's VAR for interpretation of rules and laws, then you're still going to get those decisions, aren't you? Like the World Cup final and things like that. So, yeah, while there's VAR for interpretation of rules, you'll still get it, without a doubt. VAR for like your offsides and balls crossing lines and things, then it is black and white. You know, like the Man City Spurs one in the quarter final. Yeah. So you can see the benefits of it definitely, but I think there's still grey areas which will cause controversy, discussion, whatever you want to call it. Like we were last night, I'm saying it's a foul and everyone else is saying it's not.
Do you think there'd be more respect for referees in situations then when basically it's out of the referee's hand as well, when if you say the black and white decisions are not made by the man?
Yeah, because like the offsides are given and the ref then hears it, done he, and he's told the decision, but there's still the ones where the referee's called over to the screen and he's still making the decision, which doesn't, and it becomes a bit of it's a bit pantomimey for me, like, do you know what I mean? If you're involved in it, it would be tough, and you probably, as a manager, you probably have to, I'd prepare myself for it, those decisions going against you, how you deal with it and your players.
Yeah. They say that the percentage of decisions will go from 93 to 98% accuracy. That can only improve.
Yeah, and like I said, there's ones where there's no argument. You see the offside, you see, so again, Man City Tottenham, the offside one, it's offside, it's the correct decision, and it's caused so much drama. And I'm watching Pep like celebrate, and then, you know, he's not passed out afterwards, you know, when it's taken away from him, and it does add another dimension. But I'm looking at it from his point of view, thinking, well, what do? You scored a last minute goal, do you actually not celebrate it until you get the VAR passed? And it's strange, yeah, definitely, but it was the correct decision and it's right.
We're a couple of years away from it in Scotland. I think England
next year.
You could have some fun and games.
Yeah, let them make all the mistakes and come in later getting it all right. But there'll still be, and like I said, you're saying it take the focus of the referees. I don't think it will. I think while it starts, it'll actually put more emphasis on the decisions, and you know, we're discussing it all the time now. The live games on TV, the Champions League ones, there's not been many where they've not been discussing VAR decisions, so it's still the same. I just think it's better for the black and white ones where there's no doubt in it. You might look at it, is it correct? Yeah, done. There's no point talking about it.
Could it have helped you last week at Ibrox?
In which one?
Either of the situations.
I've honestly only watched it back from our live angle for our information. I've not watched any of the contentious things, the sendings off. Nothing. I've watched absolutely nothing of it.
Okay. What do you take out of last week?
From our
positivity wise.
Yeah, well, we're always looking to improve, but certainly it probably says where we're at right now, you know. I think I said reason I wanted to be in the top six was to see where we are. So I know we're competitive against the top six. I know we are. We can see it. But I wanted to know, right, where are we short? Where do we need to get better? Range was a great example. So we set up and win the ball back in some really, really good areas, in the middle of the pitch, in their half the pitch, high up the pitch, which is something we've improved on week by week. But we don't get enough efforts on goal from it. Rangers were different. Rangers paid us more respect this time and were definitely better defensively and reacted quicker to losing the ball than they did at our place. But we have to get used to that. So, yeah, being clinical and more quality in those positions when we're winning the ball back in good areas is something we want to improve on. And then first half, especially first 25 minutes, we kept the ball really well. Second half we did all the half, but I never felt like we were going to score from those situations. So it's keeping the ball with a purpose and playing forward passes that hurt the opposition. So they're probably linked. More quality, more pace, power, more decisiveness and ruthlessness, if you like, in that top third of the pitch.
Looking to these two games and the final two games that you have, both the teams you're up against are going for third place in the table. Does that help you in a way that the game becomes more meaningful?
Yeah, well, I've had to speak to players today about it. They're playing for everything. So these two games are going to be against opposition who are giving everything. And if we're not prepared for that, we'll come unstuck, and it'll be a poor showing. I've had to check the players on that, because you can sense it, regardless of, I speak about how honest our players are, fantastic, but there's certainly like a subconscious element, disappointment, if you like, of all of a sudden knowing your season's over in that respect. We wanted to catch them, as slim as it was, we wanted to catch them, and now we can't. So we have to guard against that becoming a problem for us in the last two games.
Is that the importance then of making sure you keep up this progress that you've made so far for the season?
Well, yeah, you want to keep momentum, but I know now where we are and what we need to be doing in the summer to get better, definitely. So my mind, as much as we will put as emphasis on these games to try and win them, and we'll want to push the players for a performance, my mind's on next season. As soon as that whistle went on Sunday, I could shift sort of my sole attention, if you like, because the preparation takes care of itself for the games, but away from that, all my attention is on next season and being in a better position.
How much are you looking forward to having that pre-season with the squad, given you've not had any time really since you've come in?
Yeah, but the pre-season different, isn't it? Straight into your games, and so that's I've been speaking to the staff about that this morning. I still want to make sure we get a lot of work into the players, physical work, tactical work, while those League Cup games are going on. So it's different for me, this setup, and the way I want to do it will be different for the staff and the players here, I think, because it'll do us no good whatsoever if we're just in for 2 weeks before the first League Cup games, if you like. That's nowhere near long enough, and then just accepting that that's the start of the season. So we want to get some work into players before those games, some friendlies as well, and then when we start those games, we want to continue working really, really hard and having an extended pre-season, if you like, all the way to the first league game.
Does that make it quite difficult for you, do you think, trying to prepare them while you've got these League Cup
Yeah,
games?
it's different. It's not difficult. You just have to make sure you're disciplined in what you're doing, and we keep a real track of what the players are doing, performing. It's important we get numbers in then, and we make sure we have as much of the squad signed for that first day, because that'll affect what we can do, definitely. So it's important that we get as many bodies in terms of recruitment that we want to do as possible. And then we can, like I said, what we don't want to be doing is players missing out on all that work and then coming in. We'll just have to work even twice as hard with those players because they'll falling behind.
You have a few loan players obviously going back at the end of the season. Are you expecting quite a big turnover in terms of players coming in and other ones leaving as well?
If you look at the loan players, the amount of loan players, the amount of players' contracts up, there's potential for it to be a massive turnover, yeah. But we don't want it to be that way. I want to take the opportunity to change the squad as much as possible to make it as strong as we can. But I don't want to be losing players off the back of that. We've got a couple of long players who've figured in every game for me. We've got a couple of short players with contracts up as well who've been featuring. So it'd be great to keep them or at least have a chance. And then we've got others who have not been in the team really, and naturally will probably drift elsewhere and get another club. And if we can then recruit with those players that go and recruit and make our 11 better, brilliant. But at the minimum, we want to be making the squad better and get some real good competition.
How far down the line are you with that in terms of bringing players in or sealing deals for the loan guys that are here? Yeah,
we're not close to doing any deals, but in terms of identifying players, discussions with players, yeah, well on the way. So it's been productive so far. We've been doing it since day one, really. So I'm happy where we are, but the test comes when you're actually trying to get signatures on that dotted line.
The centre half of Barnsley was up a couple of weeks ago, apparently, again. Was he on your radar?
Yeah, Adam Jackson was up, someone who I know. Obviously, he was up at one of our games. He's one of... We had 3 meetings yesterday. Might be a few more tonight. So it's ongoing all the time.
Have you offered him a deal, or
No, there's been no. Like I said, we're not close to getting people done on the line yet, but we've got a number of options in lots of positions.
How attractive is it to bring players here now? I think you show them around the training ground, you show them the stadium. There must be a little bit of a wow factor.
Yeah, there's certainly apprehension. There's certainly so. I know for a fact we've had players who have been maybe against coming up here and thinking it's not the right move, and then we've had them up here, shown them the facilities. They've obviously experienced a bit more of Scottish football and seen the games we're playing in. We've sat them down, shown them exactly what we expect from them, what they can expect from us, where they fit in the team, and they've actually gone away then wanting to sign. And it's that's the importance of getting people up here, because if we do that and spend all that time with them and that effort on them and they don't want to sign, I'm really not bothered, because they're not the right player for us. Do you get what I mean? It has to be a two-way thing. So whilst we're doing it to impress them, we also want to be and need to be impressed by the player as well. And if we're really honest, really thorough, and leave no stone unturned in what we're showing them and what they can expect from us back, and then they agree to come, and you've got them, your hook's in them, and they've bought into you before you've even gotten through the door.
It can't all be about finance, because
it won't be about. It won't be about finance. Yeah. But there is a big value in what we do. I've experienced it before, where we've took players off big clubs, and players have been, probably had enough foresight about them to see it's not always about the wage, it's about the opportunity and things like that. So I know for a fact it can save us money putting the work in to try and get the player.
Can I ask you finally about Steve Clarke, Manager of the Year? When you look at Steve's CV, having worked at some big clubs, at Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, working under some top class managers, how big a coup is it for Scottish football to have him here at the moment?
Huge. He's got vast experience. He's got experience in all sorts of roles as well. Just working with different people, all sorts of roles, different clubs, different levels. And I know now it's a good thing. Everything you do, you've got to learn from. And I've already felt it now coming here. It's a totally different job really up here for me, and I've already taken loads from it. Steve has been the same from every single job he's had, and as you said, the people he's worked with, and it's showing in the team he's got at the minute.
Yeah, you spoke a few weeks ago, Paul, about some of the youngsters maybe next season stepping up in terms of and stopping you rather than going out and recruiting somebody for a position, one of them stepping up. With the next two games in mind, is there an opportunity to maybe get some of them some minutes, or is it the concentration to see how the core that have been playing go up against the two top 6 teams that have got something left to play for?
Both. I usually do know my team by now. I don't right now, I'll be honest with you. So lots of them things are going through my head. But I'll know it before I leave today. Yeah, I'll know exactly what we're doing, probably in the last 2 games. But back to the younger players, yeah, we've also got them, well, not to say too much, but we've got a few of them in the squad for next season. We want the squad to be smaller, but more quality, but that's still got a few of the young boys in those numbers, and so they're going to have opportunity when we come back to nail a place down. I want to make sure that they have got that opportunity, and there's nothing in the way, so it's down to them. So if they come back and impress, brilliant. So there's certainly going to be a few of the boys who get opportunity to impress and get a chance to get in the squad, stay in the squad, get in the team, because we have to do that. We've got to provide them with those opportunities, and then if they're not ready or not quite good enough, then we might have to look at something else.
How are your injuries looking? Anything this week?
Just much the same. Obviously Vicky, we ruled him out last week, hamstring tendon slight problem. He's back running, but he'll not be ready for this weekend, so just Vicky and then the 2 long-term boys.